Hello and welcome to Fly East Africa Weekly Bulletin, brought to you by Easy Flights for the best flight deals to travel across the globe. And my name is Twine Bella, and here are the headlines. Ethiopian Airways will be last airline to resume MAX flights. FADIMATOU NOUTCHEMO SIMO wins the inaugural IATA Diversity and Inclusion Award in the High Flyer category. Details of these stories and more coming up. Ethiopian Airways will be last airline to resume MAX flights, says Tewolde. Now speaking at the IATA annual general meeting in Seoul, Ethiopian Chief Executive Tewolde Gebremariam told reporters that the African carrier will only restart flights after the regulators decide and after seeing other airlines flying the MAX 8, and added that they will be the last to fly. Now 3 months after the 10th March accident involving flying ET-302, Gebremariam said it is too early to make any judgment on the Federation Aviation Administration's investigation into the cause of the crash, and it is still working in progress. He adds, let's see how they, and that is the FAA, are going to handle it. Let's see the complete solution and also the certification. Let's also see if they can convince the other regulators, then we can only make an opinion, he says. And Gebremariam says that the Ethiopian Airlines has been a long-time Boeing only customer in the past, and while he would like to maintain the relationship, the very tragic MAX crash will have its own impact on it. He agreed that he was frustrated by the comments made by the FAA about the airline's pilots who were flying the aircraft, adding that the airline had made its position clear through press releases and public statements. Gebremariam says that at present, Addis Ababa-based carrier has no plans to alter its pilot training program, and he asserts that pilots who died in the crash will ultimately be exonerated in the investigations. Commenting on the reports that one of its pilots has allegedly repeatedly warned senior management that its crew needed more training and better communication to crew members on the aircraft following the Lion Air crash. And in October 2018, Gebremariam also says that it's a very long story. The pilot had a problem for more than a year with us, so we had to terminate his contract. He concludes by saying that it's not yet decided when the Pan-Africanist airline will take delivery on its remaining MAX 8 jet on order. Abidjan Airport has handled more than 520,000 passengers in the first quarter of 2019. Now, according to a report by the Ministry of Economics and Finance of Côte d'Ivoire, Felix Heputu Boyne, also International Airport, Abidjan handled 521,485 passengers. Compared to the same period in 2018, this showed an 8.2 increase in passenger numbers. The report further shows that Air Côte d'Ivoire, also as the main airlines, had handled 35% traffic, thus 181,472, followed by Air France with 12.8%, thus 66,791 passengers. The destination distribution of passengers was mainly dominated by ECOWAS regions, and this accounted for 38.8%, followed by Europe at 27.6%, of which 20.5% was to France and 21.9% to the rest of Africa. Compared to 2018, the domestic market grew at 110.3%, and this was mainly attributed to the reopening of the airport in San Pedro Airport. Now, these figures signify that the airport is on course to hit its target in 2019, thus handling 2.5 million passengers compared to 2.1 million handled in 2018. Africa World Airlines increases frequencies to Abuja, MONROVIA and FREETOWN. Now, with effect from 11th June 2019, Africa World Airlines will increase frequencies to Abuja, Nigeria, MONROVIA, Sierra Leone and FREETOWN in Liberia. The increased frequencies will be as follows. Accra to Abuja. The airline operates daily flights to the two cities with an Embraer E145, and the new additional flights from Accra will be in the evening, departing at 18:40 and arriving Abuja at 21:30, and these will be on Tuesday, Friday and Sundays. The return journey will depart Abuja on Wednesdays, Saturdays and Mondays at 8 and also arrive in Accra at 8:50. All times are local times. Accra to Monrovia and Freetown. The airline will increase its flights to the two cities, thus a daily flight on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays and Sundays. EgyptAir plans to add frequencies to its new service to Washington Dulles Airport. The Star Alliance carrier began its 3-weekly service to Washington Dulles from its Cairo base with a Boeing 7879 on 3rd June. Washington, D.C. is EgyptAir's second U.S. destination, the other being New York and the third in North America after Toronto. Captain Mohammed Rafat Elian, Vice Chairman of EgyptAir, at a launch event at Washington Dulles Airport, had the following to say regarding also the frequencies. We are confident that there is huge potential for EgyptAir to compete in Washington and expand to daily service in the near future. Washington is the airline's second new destination in 2019 after Kigali, Rwanda, which it began serving in April. FADIMATOU NOUTCHEMO SIMO wins the inaugural IATA Diversity and Inclusion Award in the High Flyer category at the closure of the IATA 75th annual general meeting in Seoul, South Korea. Winners of the IATA Diversity and Inclusion Awards were announced, and these included the following. Inspirational Role Model was awarded to Christine Widner, the CEO of Flybe, and Diversity and Inclusion Team won by Air New Zealand, and the other category, High Flyer, was won by FADIMATOU NOUTCHEMO SIMO, founder of Young African Aviation Professional Association, YAPA. Now, while speaking on behalf of the panelist, Angela Gittens said, we quote, selecting the winners was a difficult task, and the large number of high-quality applications reflects the breadth of work being done across the industry on gender diversity and inclusion. There can only be one winner in each category, but all the applicants should inspire the industry to move forward. To meet the demands of the future, aviation needs a diverse and inclusive workforce. IATA's Director General and CEO had this to say as well. I congratulate all the nominees and winners of these awards. All of them should be proud of what they have achieved and how they are contributing to the diversity and inclusion agenda. Our industry is diverse, and we need an equally diverse and inclusive workforce to meet their needs. But there is still a lot of work to be done to achieve the balance we need, particularly on gender diversity at senior levels. And today's impressive awardees also both demonstrate and inspire progress. The IATA Diversity and Inclusion Awards are sponsored by Qatar Airways, and each winner receives a prize of $25,000 payable to the winner in each of the categories or to their nominated charities. The CEO of Qatar Airways Group, His Excellence Mr. Akbar Al-Baker, said that Qatar Airways is very pleased to sponsor the IATA Diversity and Inclusion Awards. We know that diversity and inclusion are strengths in helping us serve the needs of our customers, and we sponsored these awards to help us and the industry as a whole identify those who are leading in this field so that we may learn from their success. Congratulations to all the winners and all those who were nominated, helping to drive important change in our industry. Now we focus on the winner. High Flyer Award winner FADIMATOU NOUTCHEMO SIMO is founder and president, Young African Aviation Professional Association, YAPA. FADIMATOU NOUTCHEMO is a Cameroonian woman with a mission to raise awareness of aviation as a potential carrier, and particularly in those communities which may not ordinarily be exposed to aviation. In 2014, she founded the Young Aviation African Aviation Professional Association, YAPA, to help make this a reality. As part of YAPA's outreach program, FADIMATOU NOUTCHEMO introduced the Heleta Aviation Scholarship Program to encourage underprivileged children in rural areas of Africa to consider aviation as a future program to encourage underprivileged children as a career choice. YAPA is also an active player in establishing a community center in Cameroon, which will aim to introduce a youth aviation tech program for Africa by matching interested young people with aviation professionals and providing them with strong mentorship opportunities. Royal Air Maroc receives third Dreamliner Boeing 7879. Now on the 1st of June 2019, Royal Air Maroc took delivery of their third Dreamliner Boeing 7879. The wide-body aircraft will be powered by General Electric next generation engines. Now the aircraft will have a capacity of up to 302 passengers, thus 24 business and 278 economy seats. The airline also intends to deploy the new aircraft of its new network to Europe and United States and Latin America. In December 2018 and March 2019, the airline received its other two Dreamliners and is expected to receive its fourth before the end of the year. The airline now operates a fleet of 61 aircrafts with an average of the age of 10 years. Kenya Airways plans to launch services to the new Beijing Daxing International Airport next year. During the IATA General Annual Meeting in Seoul, Kenya's CEO Sebastian Mikoz took time and spoke to Flight Global regarding the services to newly desirable Beijing. Now the airline's plan is to deploy two Dreamliners 7878 to route, and now the airline must await board approval for the new proposed route. The CEO further said that the destination was pre-approved by the airline's 5 years plan expansion, and the airline's only Chinese destination is to Guangzhou, and adding another in Beijing would be great to the airline since there is no direct flight connection to the two cities. The new state-of-art airport will be commissioned on 30th September 2019 as an alternative to the Beijing Capital International Airport. The airport is expected to handle up to 45 million passengers by 2021 and 72 million in 2025. And the airport management intends on having 2 or 3 African airlines as gateways in Africa. Jasmin Airways is ready to operate its first flight. Since its establishment in 2011, the airline had been facing challenges to kickstart operations due to protectionism offered to Tunis Air, and also a lot of relief was received when the new airline was given a green light to start operations. The airline has acquired an Embraer E170 from EgyptAir Express with a seat configuration of up to 76, and the aircraft will be deployed on a return journey between Monastir and Sarajevo in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Jasmin Airways is the second private airline in Tunisia, the other being Nouvelle Air. Jasmin Airways, the company born in 2011, finally can take off, and the Tunisian carrier also has just acquired its first aircraft, an Embraer E170, which will be deployed next week in Europe.
Hello from Aviation. A few weeks ago in Cape Town, we delivered our first route development workshop for African airports, civil aviation authorities and tourism authorities. The feedback from the community was fantastic, and the workshop was sold out. You can hear directly from the attendees.
It was really interesting for me, very insightful. It was my first workshop in aviation, having been recently appointed into tourism as a CEO. For us in Limpopo, we are looking for ideas to develop new routes. So I found today extremely helpful.
The presenters were quite knowledgeable on the subject that they were presenting on. I really gained a lot of knowledge about route development.
I really enjoyed the workshop. As an investor in airports, I'm a layer removed from route development, so for me it was very insightful to understand some of the factors that impact or influence route development and what to think about and what to consider when talking to airlines.
At Aviadev, we partnered with Midas Aviation and we created Aviadev Consult, powered by Midas Aviation, the new company that provides tailored consultancy to the African market. And we've decided to bring the workshop to Africa again. We'd like to invite African airports, civil aviation authorities and tourism authorities to the Introduction to Air Service Development Workshop. It will take place in Addis Ababa on the 23rd to 24th September. In Addis, Aviadev team will be joined by Becca Rowland from Midas Aviation and the one and only Atogur Mawake, the godfather of African aviation. For more information and registration, click on aviationdevelop.com/Africa. See you in Addis!
Thanks for watching Fly East Africa Weekly Bulletin, brought to you by Aviadev and Easy Flights for the best flight deals to travel across the globe. And first, let's take the headlines once again. Ethiopian Airways will be last airline to resume MAX flights. FADIMATOU NOUTCHEMO SIMO wins the inaugural IATA Diversity and Inclusion Award in the High Flyer category. Connect with us on all platforms to ensure that you receive the latest news on African aviation news. My name is Twinabella. Until next time, bye-bye.